Hey guys, it is 5 o'clock and it's Sunday, so it's time for So Sweet Sunday. Let's see, get everybody joining in. Oh, while I wait, let me see if I can figure out how to share to some groups. Share. And also, if you have a group and you want me to share it too, just feel free to share it there. I know last week I had a couple of problems with me not showing up on some people's groups. So just feel free to share it. All right, so I think that was it for right now. Okay. All right, everybody is coming in. So today's project is going to be a burp cloth. And let's see, I have all of our materials here. Let me move this out the way. Sorry, turn it all around. Don't tell anybody I leave my cabinet doors open. All right, so for this, you will need a burp cloth. And I meant to go show you all the kind. Hold on, let me show you what kind it is. It's the Gerber cloth diapers. Can you see that? And I got it from Target. I paid it like $11.88. I think they were clearancing it out a while back. And this is a pack of 10. Make sure you get the pre-fold 6-ply, because if you get the other one, it's too thin and it just won't work out. All right, so materials for this project: you're gonna need your spray adhesive, your diaper, which doubles as the burp cloth. You're gonna need your pieces for the applique, matching thread. I use water soluble, the solvy kind. There's several different types. This one is the thin one. Let's see. The water soluble. It's the lightweight. There's a thicker one that I use on hats and stuff. I have my pins and a couple of scissors for applique, because you're gonna be cutting. So let's get started. Oh, and you're gonna need your hoop. I started doing just like a little trial run beforehand. Take that off. You just want to cut your stabilizer about the size of your hoop. Just a rough cut will do. Let me cut some of the top off. Let's see what y'all are saying. Jerry, you finally made it? I'm glad you made it. Hey, welcome. Don't forget to hit share. Okay, so I don't know if you all remember from last time we did one. You want to make sure this notch right here matches up with that notch. Take your stabilizer and push it down in there. Kind of hard to do sitting down. All right. So usually you can do, you know how they do the real cute things? I've done a couple of them that has the matching fabric on the bottom part here. You don't necessarily have to do that, because it takes a little longer, but it is cuter. All right. So we're gonna float this one. So in order to float it, all you wanna do, take your spray. You can use sticky back stabilizer. I've actually never worked with sticky back stabilizer. How's my volume, guys? Hey, Miss Margaret. Lisa, you're late. How dare you? I'm just kidding. Thank you for showing up. All right, so I take it, fold it in half, find my midline, and then I take it from top to bottom here. And I'm not gonna put it all the way at the bottom, because I want it to have just a little bit of room top here. See, so my design might start like right here or something. I don't want it to come straight down to the bottom. Okay, okay, good, you can hear me. So I just did a rough spray. So what you can do to keep everything on there is pin it. Pin your corners. Actually, let's knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's go ahead and pin your water soluble down too. And this is, it's water soluble. You can peel it off, wipe it off, get anything wet and it just dissolves. Okay, and I like to use it on towels or burp cloths like this that has like a little you know, fluffy part to it, so that it sits up and your design doesn't just fall down in it. All right, so now we pin it. Hopefully this is not in our stitch field. If it is, then we'll just move it. Move it over. Hey, Gianna. Hey, Jackie. All right, just gonna do the 4 corners. And I did a trial run before. So just to give you an idea of what it is, it's gonna be an anchor with a bow. So let's move on over. What do I need on this side? All right, join me. Maybe if I move you all down here, you think? How's that? Okay, so right now all I'm about to do is, well, let's turn on the machine, that'll help. Turn on the machine, and I have my memory stick. I've had this one for several years. I probably need to transfer my files somewhere else so that I don't lose them. And then, I guess I'll show you all from this one just in case. So when it comes on, it's gonna say, you know, the carrier's gonna move. There you go, it moved. Plug it in. So you get that. That just kind of gets it off your memory stick. Retrieving. So if you have a lot of files on here, it takes a while for it to pull up. That's why I have this 8 gig also, but I don't put a lot of things on the 8 gig. I put it on the 2 gig because if you put a lot on there, it'll take forever to pull up, longer than this just did. So, all right, so you use this button to go back and forth. There it is. And then you take it out of the pocket. All right, there you go. All right, so while I need to thread my my machine, so give me a moment. Sorry, I keep turning my phone off. All right, so then we're gonna go to the adjust button and then layout. You can kind of go through that and see what colors come next. I'm just threading it. We'll start with the, let's see, what color do we want to start with? I guess we're going to start with the gray. I don't have a whole lot of gray left on here, so we're just going to cross our fingers that we make it through the whole project. If not, we'll be okay. Screen doesn't want to thread. Y'all, I'm telling you, every time something happens. Let's just start over. Here we go. challenge. Oh, it worked. Someone told me last week that my needle might be in the wrong position. That's why my automatic threader doesn't work sometimes. It worked this time. Ouch. Just hit my finger. All right, so I kind of did like a little run through because on here, you can't really see, on the single needle, you can't really see what's gonna come next as well as you can on some of the other ones. Let's see, it's a glare. I think once I start sewing, y'all will be able to see. All right, so what I like to do is just kind of check my placement. This is gonna be pretty wide. So the main thing here, I just want to make sure it's gonna be the same amount on both sides. So right now it's a little left heavy. So let's bring it to the right. Did it right? Okay. That sound right there means you can't go any farther than that. So let's try it again. Let's see where we're gonna meet at. Looks a little better. How are we looking? Can you all see? Well, it said it threaded, then it went away. You know all this little threading thing? And then as soon as you put your needle down, you can hit the green button for go. Hey, Sue. All right. So I like to, I kind of think of this as blind stitching because you kind of are. You don't really know where it's gonna wind up. You have to really trust your judgment as far as your placement. You don't always know what the next color is going to be. Ooh, that pin made me nervous. So this first stitch that it's making is that little top part that lets you know where you're going to put down your fabric. And unlike the 6 needle, this one stops in between everything, so you don't have to worry about putting those stops in. Who said that? Lisa, what kind of thread does my machine like? So I can tell you what kind it doesn't like. It doesn't like the, I don't even have one here, but I think it's Clarks & Coats from Joann's. It doesn't really do as well with it, but I make it work because it's cheaper. But right now, or maybe it's the Sulky too, but I use Exquisite. Can you see? Can't hear, so. Oh, okay, Sue can't hear me. All right, so yeah, I use Exquisite, and there's another one. I don't have it on my machine right now, but Exquisite. So you lift your needle. And then I didn't, sometimes you can just pre-cut the little bit that you need. I didn't. Just put it down just enough to cover your design. Then you hit the green button again. Green means go. Oh, you know what? There is a way that you can look and see what your next thing is. And I kind of, see how I kind of just walk my fingers down as it's going? I mean, be careful. I do not advise this. If you get your fingers caught up, don't say, Alexis told me to just put my fingers all up in the mix. But I do it because I don't like for it to have wrinkles or like lumpy bumps. I've only gotten my finger hit once. All right, so then now I have all of these scissors. All these scissors I showed you, at least one of these should work for cutting. Alright, so now you're going to do the applique part that you have to cut away, because you got to stop and cut, because otherwise it's not going to, you're not going to have that clean line cutting. Let's see if I can get you all in the picture up here. Alright. That's what we have so far. And sometimes you can even play around and get your design at a specific place. Like if I had been paying more attention, I probably would have got this to where the glittery part would have been there. I'm going to start off with my bird scissors. What's the name of these? If you know the name, tell me. But sometimes, let's see. I'm just going to figure out which one feels the best. I think these might be the best. It's got a little curve in it. And all I'm doing is just cutting around. This part is what takes the longest. Be careful, because it is very possible to cut your project underneath. Ask me how I know. And it is also very possible to cut into the thread of your applique. And if you do that, it's kind of hard to fix. I mean, it might be fixable. I think maybe once or twice I figured out how to fix it. Just made it work. But for the main part, it's a little harder. It's a little tedious. Here I go again with my mouth open, cutting stuff. You see? So I've gotten the top of it so far. There's really no fun way, easy way to do this. This is worth taking your time on. Sometimes if I start having trouble on one part, I'll just be like, forget it and go to another piece and then come back to it. I find that it helps if you take your other hand and kind of pull up while you're cutting. That way it pulls it away. Some designs give you more room to, when they do that outside stitch and they do the top applique stitch. Some designs, it depends on who digitized it. Some digitizers give you a little more room, and then it doesn't pull away once it's stitching. And other ones, I mean, it comes right up to it. I feel like I'm rambling. Still cutting. And then I just cut away all that just to get it out of my way. I nicked a little bit of the water soluble. I've even started off with one pair of scissors, gotten to a certain part, and found that it's easier to use another pair. I mean, it is really, there's no right or wrong way. Just whatever is the most comfortable and whatever works. Whew, got one side. See it? Starting to take shape. Where do you purchase it? Okay, machine. I don't know if it carries. Lisa, where did I purchase what? Some kind of machine. Let me know what it is. I can try to point you in the right direction. If all else fails, y'all, Amazon. I get everything off of Amazon. Oh, the Exquisite Thread. I get that from my local dealer. It's a sewing and vacuum shop. This weekend, nope, Friday, I'm kind of excited because I'm going to the Everything Embroidery Market in Greenville, South Carolina. And it is much needed because I have run out of almost everything that I like to buy in bulk. So I'm going to stock back up on some stabilizer. I don't know if they have thread. I didn't get thread last year. Last year I bought the, what's that thing called? The Mighty Loops. All right, so we got the top part going. Doop, doop, doop. And where am I from? I'm from Georgia. I live in Augusta, Georgia. All right, so this little round part, you want to cut that out. You want to be careful because, like I said, you can cut the under part. So I pull my scissors up as I'm cutting it. And just really hope that I didn't get any of the under part. And I did not. So what's also helping me is this water soluble stuff. Almost done. So applique takes a while. If you all are doing this to sell, you know, keep that in mind when you're doing your pricing. Applique is going to be a little more, it's going to require a little more of your labor, a little more of just you sitting here snipping and cutting and taking off the machine. And if you have a single needle, it's going to require you to change your thread, in which you'll see in a moment. I don't remember what order it's stitching out, so you know me, we'll just figure it out as it goes. Right, so come back down. Nathan, my brother's here, hey. How's that view? All right, so snap it back on. Snap, snap. I'll keep it up. And then you put your needle, put your foot down, hit start again. Oh, it's gonna do the bow now. I'm gonna use pink. See that? It's got some glittery. I must have fell in love with this material when I bought it because I'm telling you, I have put this on everything and I'm just not running out of it. Just been making it work. So let's see how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to use this without, see that fold right there? I tried to iron it out, but it didn't come out. So I'm gonna see if I can put it on there and make it work without taking it. It might work. All right, cross your fingers. Oh, did y'all see that? I just moved it. Whew. Barely made it at the top there. Ah! Well, that sound that you heard was me getting annoyed with myself because a little piece didn't make it. Well, now you get to see what I mean when I say that you can, depending on how it's digitized and how thick the stitch on the outside is, it might hide it. When I'm doing orders for people, y'all, I promise I'm a little more cautious. Where'd my other scissors go? I spend more time looking for my supplies. All right, same thing. Now we're just gonna cut around. Cut, cut, cut. Snip, snip, snip. Y'all, it would not be a So Sweet Sunday if I didn't make a mistake. It should be called So Sweet Comedy Hour. Oh well, that's what makes this fun. Kind of like whoever that was that asked the question last week about when do you know you're, when you just kind of get good at it. Like I said, it just depends on how are you able to correct your mistakes. How well can you correct your mistakes? Sometimes you're going to make the mistake. Sometimes your machine's going to make the mistake. Almost done. This one isn't as hard to cut around because it's not very detailed. It's just a bow. I didn't add a name on here, so it's gonna just be a general burp cloth. Probably gonna give it to my friend that's having a baby. Everybody's having babies. Not me. Not I. All right, see? Now we have the bow. Y'all wanna see where I made my little boo-boo? Right there. Hopefully this stitch fixes it. We will see. All right, which one is next? I think next is the top stitch, the gray top stitch. So we already have it. We already have it threaded for the gray. I like to keep as few steps as possible. That's why I just kept the gray on from the beginning. All right. Thank you, Quana. You're talented too. All right, blue. No, not blue. My machine says blue. Oh, that's another thing. So your machine may say different colors. Don't worry about that. When I first started on my single needle, I would get all caught up with needing to have a specific color or any of that. Don't worry about what your machine says. You worry about what project you're working on and what color you want to make it. Okay. So we're gonna turn the needle down, hit start. Now we're gonna top stitch around the bottom. Oh, make sure, I don't know how many times y'all have done it, but make sure every so often you check your project to make sure it's out of the way and not underneath, because you will stitch it together. And sometimes what I do, if I notice that top stitch isn't gonna make it, oh, I think it's gonna make it. Sometimes what I do, I just stop the machine and I'll trim a little more off. But I think this is gonna work out. I think it's gonna work. If it doesn't, I can show you all how to fix it. Right? And we're just stitching. If you're just joining me, we're doing a burp cloth applique on the single needle. Hit share. We've already put the top two pieces on. Now we are top stitching the anchor. Looks like he's going to do the bottom portion first. And I think we're doing pretty good with thread. Hey, Deatrice. Mentioned my machine was going a little slow last time. It does sound like it's going slow. I think I've gotten so used to my 6 needle, how fast that goes. I can't really remember the speed of this one. But just compared to the other one, this one does seem very slow. something else I can tell. Does anyone have questions? Comments? Suggestions? No, as soon as I put this down, then it wants to. That's kind of why I sew with my, with that thing up. I don't know what I was thinking putting it down. It gave me an error message, check upper thread. So that just, for some reason, it came unthreaded. Just wanted some attention. Oh, perfect. So, okay, now I can show you all what happens if you need to back up in the middle of a stitch. Okay, so what I did, I just kind of clipped. Do you ever use the iron off stabilizer? The iron on stabilizer. I have not used the iron on stabilizer. I think I have some, but my mom buys all kind of stuff, y'all. And sometimes I never know what it is and what it's for until I actually need it, or I go to the store to buy it. And then my mom is like, oh, I have some of that. All right, let's see if I can do this without turning you all off the machine. So I just went from, okay, so this is the screen I went back to this screen to the adjust part, hit that little button, the plus and minus needle, okay? This pluses it to the next, that minuses it from the last thread you were on, that'll plus it to the next one. This will take it back a stitch. So you see that? Let me do it again. All right. So I'm gonna just kind of back it up a little bit, just so that it'll go back and overlap. I may have gone too far. I look carried away. All right, that sounds good. All right, so remember, that takes it back, that takes it forward. So if ever you just need to go and fix a mistake that you made, try using that. All right, let's put you all back on the stand. Needle down. We're threaded. All right, we might make this work. And that long piece of thread that you're going to see there, just cut it off when it's done. Or sometimes it will stitch itself on in. Yeah. And if you still have a couple of loops, there's that little tool that I showed you all a couple of lives back called the Snag Nabbit. You just take it down and it will pull the pins through, pull the thread through. I just heard something pop. What is that? What's going on here? I didn't check my bobbin, so hopefully I don't run out. If I do, I have another one here. I planned ahead this time. The brand of diapers, Elizabeth, is, you can get them at Walmart or Target or Babies R Us, or I don't know, is Babies R Us even still around? Or Bye Bye Baby. Let me show you. I'll just take it out real quick. I bought a 10-pack. I had a big project to do. The Gerber. You see that? Gerber 10-pack. If you can't see it, I showed it at the beginning of the video. You can just watch the replay once it's all over. And they are the double fold, pre-folded premium 6-ply. Yeah, because otherwise the single fold, they're just too thin. This thing's just trucking along. Yeah, Jerry, finding that out, it was a lifesaver, because I had to just throw away a couple of projects mid-stitch because I didn't know how to go back and fix it. I also use that sometimes for jump stitches. Before I got the snag nabbit, I used it for jump stitches. So, we have also learned that my machine is very particular and it doesn't want to have the top closed. It likes to sew and ride with the top back. I crack myself up if y'all haven't noticed. What now? I was picking at it too much. I'm telling you, if you pick at your machine, it just stops working. Just unthread it on me. Alright. Easy fix. Rethread you. Take it back a couple stitches. And start again. So yeah, I'm gonna probably use a snag nabbit on that little piece because it didn't stay down as far as I wanted to. As a matter of fact, while it's stitching, I'm gonna get it. Hold on. Bold. Usually I don't get up and leave my single needle because it just goes crazy. Let's cut that. Okay, so this is the little tool I was telling you about. Snag nabbit. See, it has like little serrated ends. That's what pulls the thread down. You can find it on Amazon. I think under snag nabbit, like literally just the word snag nabbit. Hey Jan. That was looking. I may check underneath. It's not done, but it's just looking a little strange underneath. Sometimes when it does that, I just rethread my bobbin just to make sure. I'm telling you, I usually don't have this much stuff going on in the middle of it. Like my machine is like, nope, let me just show you everything that can possibly go wrong so you can tell the people. I get it. It just started doing a little funky looking stitch, that's all. That's why I stopped it. All right, let's see what it does from here. I stopped it because I wasn't sure why it took that gray thread right across my pink, but I'm assuming it's because, oh, gone it. I'm assuming it's because it's gonna, y'all, sometimes when it does this to me a lot, I turn it around. I turn it backwards. And it works for some reason. Okay, let's try that. But I was trying to figure out why it took it across the pink there. And it's just because it's going to cover that with pink. I promise I don't usually have this much issues going on. I wonder if it's because I'm getting to the bottom of my thread. Maybe. It's trial and error. Right now we're on the side of error. It's looking better. That might have fixed it. Same thing happens when I use my 6 needle. I mean, sometimes it can be stitching, like I was doing the hats. I got to like hat number 10 and it decided to want to break a thread every time it switched over to a different word. I don't know why. It just did that. Then the next day I came back and it sewed just like it was fine. Yes, I can go really slow when I use the snag nab. Miss Margaret, you should do some more projects on the other machine. Y'all, I've known Miss Margaret since I was a little girl. Little girl. She used to sew with my mom. Alright, we're still looking good. The next color is going to be this pink. So we have that up in line next. Almost done. The one thing I don't like about this, you can't see a time count anymore. On the bigger machine. I haven't seen the upgraded machine from this. This one is about 7 or 8 years old, so I don't know what the newer ones do. If anyone has a newer one, let me know what the difference is. If the screen got any bigger. This one's a Disney one. I will be completely honest with you and let you know I have not used any of the Disney designs that came on the machine. So if you are trying to figure out whether you want to get the Disney model or the regular model, which is the PE770, this is the PE780D. I would, unless you're big on Disney designs and you really plan on putting them to work, I'd just go with the PE770 because you can always download designs off of a lot of these different sites. I would mention a couple of them, but they're slipping my mind, and then I know I won't mention enough. I don't want to leave anybody out. But there are a lot of them on here. I usually go to Etsy and just type in, or let's say I want an anchor. I type in anchor, embroidery. No, I type in anchor, applique, and then the word design. Because if you just type in anchor, shirt, or something like that, it will bring up all the shirts that people have already made. So if you type in the word design, that gives you the PES or the DST version. And then you can just download it that way. Sometimes what I would do before I got pretty good at, what's the digitizing software? Not digitizing, but on-screen editing software. Gosh, what's the name of it? Not in Brilliance, the other one. I use that one. If you know what it is, type it in for me because I can't remember it right now. I just had a brain fart. But anyway, before I got that program that I could do all of my editing on my computer and save it together, Somewhat Pro. There you go. Thank you, Lisa. You won the prize. Somewhat Pro. Before I got that program, I would just have to do two separate. What are we doing? Okay. I would just have to do two separate files and like do the name across there and just hope and pray that it falls in the right space that I wanted it to fall. But now that I have Somewhat Pro, I just type it all on the screen, edit it all together, bring it in, and stitch it out. That's the one you use too. A lot of people use that one. A lot of people use Brilliance too. I have not used Brilliance. I probably should, just so that I can see the difference in them and see if one is better than the other. But I use that and Monogram Wizard for my fonts. All right, so we're done with the gray. And it is telling me to do, all right, it's telling me to do white. Sometimes you can listen to what the color is, and sometimes you just gotta kind of wing it and just look at what's on the screen next. It's showing me that my anchor is next. So it's gonna do my favorite little stitch. There's like a running stitch that goes on top. I love it when it's finished with those little stitches. It just makes it look a little more polished. Oh, does it cost more? Oh, if it costs more, then I'm sticking with Somewhat Pro. It does what I need it to do. All right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut a couple of my threads. This one doesn't cut. Julie, you may have to give us a tutorial on Brilliance. Tell them to give us a discount. Okay, now start with the white. This is gonna do like a cute little top stitch. And you hear how it's pulling up like that? It's just because it's going through so many layers of thickness. I'm just gonna cut that piece so it doesn't get stuck down in there. Notice I decided to stop the machine for this one. I ain't crazy. Okay, there we go. Do you put anything on the back to cover the stitching? No, not on these. On some of the baby onesies. Y'all, I forgot that it doesn't even cut that. Oh. On some of the baby onesies, I'll do it just so it doesn't scratch the skin or, you know, irritate them. I'll just use like the iron-on mesh. But for this, I just don't. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. It's so cute. And to tell you the truth, what I'll probably do, since I don't have a name with this, my friend that's having the baby, once she finally decides on a name, I'll just put it back on and stitch the name on top. Tender Touch. I don't know the name of it. I don't know the name of it. Because I stole it from my mom's house. I'll find out and post it for you. Lisa, Jerry wants to know, where do you buy Tender Touch? I kind of want to know too. Oh, hey, I might not need to use, it might not be as noticeable when I use the snag nabbit to fix this because the top stitch that I'm using. But I'll still demo it just so that you get an idea of what it does. I don't know where I found out about it. I think I found out about that at my dealer that I bought my sewing machine from. They mentioned it to me one time, and then I went to probably Everything Embroidery Market last year, and I think someone else mentioned it there. All right, we're on the downhill slide. Now we're going to change to pink. And this pink is a little darker than the fabric, but it's okay. Sometimes it's cuter. I think it's cuter when it's darker. It's not as cute when it's lighter. It just blends better. Like a, I don't know. You know, like when you were younger and you would color and you would outline it first and then you would color light in the lines? Maybe that was just me. Wait a minute. My bad. All right. Hit the green button. Time to go. Me too, Lisa. I love when I find any design that has this top stitch. It's my favorite. I said if I ever learn how to digitize, all of my designs are going to have this top stitch. Do I know what the top stitch is called? Not particularly. If I had to guess, maybe like a dotted stitch. It's not a running stitch. I can make up something for you. I'm not sure. I'll look it up. Dotted stitch. Okay, yeah, that sounds right. It just sounds like, it looks like little, you know, in the middle of the road when you see the little lines. Kind of like the same thing. Miss Margaret, that's funny because I was sitting here thinking about that same question about how often you should oil this machine. I've never oiled my single needle machine. I oil my 6 needle. They say every day. I don't make it around to the every day. Some people even say after every project. I don't do it that often either. I just, whenever I think about it, I literally put a drop or two of oil in it. But this one, I don't know where I would even put the oil. I let them handle that when I take it to get serviced. Hey, Anna. A bean stitch. You're right. I have heard that word before. Jen, you're so smart. You already had to take yours in not even a year. Oh, you must have been doing a lot of projects. I take mine, unless I'm having a problem with it, I take mine about once a year. Oh. All right, we're almost there. Going over a thicker piece. That gave me a little heart attack there. for about almost an hour. So it takes a little while longer on the single needle, but it's still possible, and you will still get just as beautiful results. And if you're out there like I was, thinking, oh, I need to get a 6 needle, but I can't afford it, the best advice I can give you is to figure out how much it's going to cost, and then figure out an item you can sell. This is if you don't want to finance it. If you want to finance it and you're good with paying off stuff, by all means finance it, get it, pay it off. But if not, just find an item that you can sell a lot of, or a couple items that you can sell a lot of, and figure out how many of those items you have to sell before you can afford it, and make that your goal. And then once you reach your goal, you can get you a 6 needle. That's kind of what I did. Bye, Julie. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are just getting here. Make sure you hit share. All right, we're almost done. Lisa wants to know, how long did I sew before I knew I wanted to make that commitment? Actually, I wanted to make it from the very start. Like, I knew I wanted the 6 needle, but my mom bought this first machine for me, and I just started doing little things for my daughter. And when I realized I could not do some bags and some shirts, or just things that need to have that free arm, probably about a year in, that was how long it took me to get real comfortable with selling things. That was when I was like, I need to have that 6 needle. And when I set my mind to it, I did it. So it's possible. It is very possible. Don't sit here and think, oh, I'm stuck with the single needle. Although there are a lot of things that you can do with the single needle. If you want that 6 needle, go for it. Or what's the one up from that 10 needle? I don't know if I want that one yet. I think I'm content for right now. Oh, and I wanted a bigger surface area. I got tired of having to do, like if I wanted to do this size right here and I wanted to do a name at the bottom, I got tired of having to re-hoop. Did you sell? Nope, I didn't sell my single needle, Lisa. As a matter of fact, I still have this one, and then I have another one that I got from a friend because I want to teach. Like teach here locally. All right, so it says finish sewing. Let me show you. Yay, finish sewing. All right, then you hit okay. All right, so I'm gonna move back over. Let's see if I can do this again without cutting this off. Just pop it off. With me. I mean, oh, did I sell my products? Yes. How long did I take for? I don't even remember what was my first item that I sold. I think I gave a lot of things away as gifts first, so that if they didn't like it, it was free. You better like it. But yeah, I gave a lot of stuff away, and then once I got comfortable with it, I did it. Okay, so here we go. That's the end result. All you do, since it's tear away, you literally tear it away. And let me show you the back. So sometimes I go in and I just pull that off. If it's gonna leave a raw edge, I pull it off. but what's inside the anchor, I'll just leave that. And it stays. As you wash it, wear and tear, it'll get softer. Cut some of your threads away. All right, now, then you pull off your water soluble. Came off everywhere. I keep tweezers. I keep random everyday items for sewing, and let me show you what I do with this one. So see the little circle there? I just use that and I pick that out. See? I could have probably gotten that with my nail, but if you do other projects that have a lot of smaller letters and stuff, you can use that. So to demo the snag nabbit, I'm telling you, Jerry, you can do it. Where was it? You can make gifts and you can sell too. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of cut a couple of the things that are sticking out. All right, snag nabbit. You take it through wherever you see, can y'all see? Okay, here we go. You see that little piece right there? Boom. Take it and you just push it through. Kind of like you're hand stitching. Push it through the top. And what pulls it is that. Okay. There you go. And then you take it and you fold it all nice. Presentation is everything. And there you go. I'm probably gonna go back and add a name right here. Just kind of stitch it across the top. When will I start teaching? Soon. Destiny, where do you live? I want to do like online and in-person things, but that's in the works. Do we have any questions before I go? So that's a project that you can do on the single needle. It's very easy. Oh, so if you don't do this, you know what else looks just like this that you could do something on? A kitchen towel. You can do a kitchen towel. Do somebody's initials. Oh, you're in Augusta? Oh, well, yeah, you can come over. We can have a sew date. I'll teach you. So, yeah, I get distracted easily, obviously. But you can do this on a kitchen towel. You can do your initials. I would show you, but for some odd reason, I sew for everybody else except for myself. I do not have my initials on many things. I don't have anything in my house with my initials on it. Oh, but I do have one thing. Hold on. One more thing. Okay. I did towels for my daughter's bathroom. So it's basically, it's been washed a couple times, so you may not be able to see it, but that's a KDC. That's for her initials. And then I did a big one somewhere. Where is it? Maybe I didn't. Huh. I did it on the other one that I didn't bring. But yeah. So same concept. I did it the exact same way. What we thought we were going to do. All right. So that's perfect. Look, and it even match. Too bad my baby's a big girl. She doesn't need that anymore. All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share. And as you all see, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be pretty. Okay? See you next time. Oh, next time I will be back on my 6 needle. I'll be demoing probably probably a hat because I'm going on vacation next week. So I'll probably do a straw hat. All right, bye.